Hey all. Hey, some people were interested in how I keep my bunnies cool in the summer, and so I just thought I'd show you kind of my system. It's nothing fancy, but it works. So this is my main rabbit cage. Um, it's kind of hard to see, but there are 4 cages on each side of this thing. It's enclosed in a dog kennel. And if you look up here, you can see the original bunny cage had this tin pitched roof, and we quickly found out that that did nothing more than turn it into an oven for the bunnies. So what we've done is we've, over top of this dog kennel, we've taken a cattle panel and arched it over the top. The peak of the tin roof creates the arch, and then as it comes down to the edges here, we've just secured it with well, that's a carabiner, but some of the other things that we've used are these little, they're just little chain links with a barrel nut on them. We secure those so that when the wind comes up, we don't have any issues there. And then of course, everywhere there's an eyelet, we've tied it on with baling twine, and that goes clear over the top of the bunny cage. It's reflective up on top. You can see it's reflective material on the top. It's brown underneath. And so this just goes over the back. And then what we've done is we've installed this mister system. You can see the misting line there. There's one on this side, and get over here. There's one on the back. And the problem that I found is it keeps the bunnies cool, but it was getting them a little bit too wet. So what I've done is I just hang this single layer burlap. So I take a gunny sack that you can buy at the feed store, open them up so it's just a single layer, and I put those in the places where it's just getting a little bit too much spray. This is especially important in the summer when your does are kindling and they've got those little babies. They're so susceptible to getting chilled, so you definitely don't want to get them wet. It kind of acts as a swamp cooler. Now you can see here I've left this one open because there's really not much spraying into this one. This is some babies that were growing out, and you can see they're not stressed. They're comfortable. It's about 85 degrees out here. So I leave it open where I can to create some airflow. There's Mama. That's Snowflake, and you can see her babies in there, and they're just behind this burlap so they don't get wet, but yet I've left it open a little bit so that some flow gets through there. I just put these hooks up. I've also used some grabber screws. I just put a lot of them in so I can adjust things the way that I want to do. So that's that. Now, there might be a little water on the lens, and if there is, I'm sorry about that. But now we're going to go over to the grow out cages, and I just use this half-inch, it's called a half-inch mainline tubing. It's flexible poly tubing that you can buy, and I've extended this over to the grow out cages. I've supported it with some baling twine to give it some support. And here's the grow out cages. I've got one group in there right now. Let's see if you can see them. Yeah, and they're just happy. On these ones I didn't use the burlap because there's not a roof in these, so I needed something a little more waterproof so they just didn't get soaked. The burlap is good hanging on the sides, but it doesn't make a very good roof. So what I do is I just take feed sacks and open them up, and I just drape them over the top. I use water bottles, juice bottles full of water for weights to keep them up there, and I just leave the bottom open a little so it drips and it gets a little airflow. I've left a little gap here for some airflow, but Anyway, my hillbilly ways of doing things, but it doesn't cost me anything except I think the mainline tubing is maybe $9 for 50 feet. I don't remember how much the sprayers were. I think they're half-gallon. You can see the sprayer line up here. This is under one of those carports. But the little misting nozzles, they're half-gallon per hour nozzles. You can find them on Amazon. You just punch a hole in the poly line and it's a barbed fitting. It just pops right in. So that's what I do. Works for me. If I get one that's really stressed, I've got some of these juice bottles that we save, and I've got a few of those in the freezer that I can throw one in if they get really stressed. But this also works good as a reflective material. If you look here on the back side, I'm missing a piece of tin on this shed, and so I just hung that over the back side. White, nice reflective, keeps the sun out, and everybody's happy. So hey, if that helps you guys, I'm glad to send it your way. And if you like what you see, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Patriot Gal Prepper, on YouTube. And feel free to share and like the video and give me suggestions for other things you'd like to see. Bye bye, baby bunnies.